Have you ever wondered why there are so many different languages in the world? Why can't we all just understand each other? The answer might be found in an ancient story, a tale of ambition, pride, and a tower that was meant to reach the heavens. After the great flood, humanity had a fresh start. The descendants of Noah began to multiply and spread out. And in those early days, something remarkable was true. Everyone on earth spoke the same language. They used the same words, had the same expressions. Communication was perfect. There were no misunderstandings, no language barriers. Imagine a world like that. As people journeyed from the east, they discovered a vast, flat plain in a land called Shinar, which we know today as part of ancient Mesopotamia. It was a perfect place to settle down. So they did. They built homes and started a new life together. Being united by one language, it was easy for them to share ideas and make plans. One day, a powerful idea began to spread among them. They said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them until they are hard." They had developed a new technology. Instead of using simple stones for building, they would use strong, fire-baked bricks. And instead of using mud or clay for mortar, they would use tar, a much more durable adhesive. With this new technology, their ambition grew. They weren't just thinking about building houses anymore. They hatched a grand plan. "Let us build ourselves a city," they declared, "with a tower that reaches all the way to the heavens." But why did they want to do this? Their motivation was revealed in the next part of their plan. "So that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth." This wasn't about worship or honoring a higher power. This was about them. It was about human pride. They wanted fame, glory, and to be remembered for their incredible achievement. They also feared being scattered, which was exactly what God had commanded them to do, to fill the earth. Instead, they wanted to consolidate their power in one place, creating a fortress of human unity against the divine plan. The tower was a symbol of their self-reliance, their desire for security on their own terms, without God. The construction began. The sound of work filled the plain of Shinar. Day by day, the city grew, and the tower rose higher and higher, a monument to human ingenuity and defiance. It was a marvel of engineering, a testament to what people could achieve when they worked together with a single purpose. Then, the story tells us, the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the people were building. God saw their unity. He saw their shared language and their single-minded ambition. And God said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them." Now, this wasn't a statement of fear, as if God was threatened by a tall building. It was an observation about the nature of humanity. God saw the dangerous trajectory of their pride. A world united in arrogance, centered on its own glory, would lead to unimaginable corruption and evil. This kind of unity, without humility and without acknowledging God, was a path to self-destruction. The problem wasn't the tower itself. It was the heart behind it. So, God decided to intervene, but not with a flood or with fire. The intervention was far more subtle, yet incredibly effective. God said, "Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." And just like that, everything changed. Imagine being a worker on the tower. One moment, you're shouting to a friend, "Pass me another brick," and you both understand perfectly. The next moment, the words coming out of your mouth are gibberish to him, and the words he speaks back to you are completely alien. The language that had once united them became a source of chaos. Communication broke down instantly. Instructions were misunderstood. Plans fell apart. Frustration turned to anger. How can you build a tower when the architect can't explain the design and the workers can't coordinate their efforts? The project ground to a halt. The unified people were now a collection of confused and divided groups. The noise of construction was replaced by a babel of strange new sounds. Because they could no longer understand one another, the people abandoned the project. The great city was left unfinished. The tower, once a symbol of their pride, now stood as a monument to their confusion. And from that place, the Lord scattered them. People naturally gravitated toward those they could understand. Small groups, now speaking their own new, distinct languages, began to move away from Shinar. They went north, south, east, and west, spreading out and settling in new lands, just as God had originally intended. Families and clans formed the basis of new nations, each with its own language and culture. This is why the place was named Babel. The name itself sounds like the Hebrew word for confused. It was at Babel that the Lord confused the language of the whole world. The story of the Tower of Babel serves as a powerful warning that resonates even today. It teaches that human unity, built on pride and self-glorification, is fragile and ultimately leads to division. God's original command was to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. The people at Babel resisted this, choosing to cluster together to build their own kingdom and make a name for themselves. God's action wasn't a punishment born of jealousy, but a course correction. He redirected humanity's path, not through destruction, but through the diversification of language, which led to the rich tapestry of cultures and nations we see across the globe. This story provides a fascinating explanation for the origin of different languages. But its deeper meaning is about the human heart. It shows us that ambition and achievement are not inherently bad. God gave us creativity and intelligence. The danger lies in prideful ambition, the kind that seeks to elevate humanity above God, to create a world that doesn't need Him. God desires a relationship with us built on humility, dependence, and trust. The Tower of Babel reminds us that true, lasting unity can't be manufactured by human effort alone. It must be rooted in something greater than ourselves. When we try to build our own towers to heaven, whether they are made of brick or of personal achievements and pride, we end up isolated and confused. Later in the biblical narrative, there's a beautiful counterpoint to this story. At an event called Pentecost, God's Spirit comes down, and people from many different nations, speaking many different languages, all hear and understand the same message in their own native tongue. Where Babel brought confusion and division, this event brought understanding and unity, a new kind of unity based not on human pride, but on a shared spiritual experience.